Counter-narrative news, continuing with our special series on Huey Newton, the founder and leader of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, founded in October 1966. Please do see our first video for further details. We are just going through the rest of the first publication of the Black Panther Party, the Black Panther Black Community News Service number 1, April 25th, 1967. In the previous episode, we explored how Huey Newton and the Black Panther Party dealt with the police killing of Denzel Dowell, a 22-year-old, and they worked with his family and friends to campaign for justice around his death by police hands, and also others as well, and other people who were victim to police brutality. Now we're going to just share the other article in the same publication of the Black Panther Community News Service, and its title is called Armed Black Brothers in Richmond Community. So we're just going to go through this. So to start the quote: Armed Black Brothers in Richmond Community. 15 black brothers, most of them armed with Magnum 12 gauge shotguns, M1 rifles and sidearms, held a street rally at the corner of 3rd and Chesley in North Richmond last Saturday afternoon about 5 p.m. The nice thing about these Bloods is that they had their arms to defend themselves and their black brothers and sisters while they exercised their constitutional rights, freedom of speech and the right to peacefully assemble. And while they exercised another constitutional right, the right to bear arms to defend themselves. The racist cops could only look on. The dog cops make no attempt to break up the meeting like they generally do when black people get together to sound out their grievances against the white power structure. The point to get firmly into your mind is that both the black brothers and the racist cops had power. They had righteous gun power. But the significant thing is that the black brothers had some of this power. In the past, black people have been at the mercy of cops who feel that their badges are a license to shoot, maim and outright murder any black man, woman or child who crosses their gun sights. But there are now strong black men and women on the scene who are willing to step out front and do what is necessary to bring justice, security and peace to a people who have been denied all of these for hundreds of years. At this rally, the brothers were uptight and knew exactly what they were doing at all times. They knew that they were acting strictly within their rights. These brothers have become aware of something that the white racists have been trying to keep secret from black people all the time, that a citizen has the right to protect himself. They were ready to ensure that the rally went ahead as planned without any interference from outlaw cops who wanted to suppress the meeting so that other black people would not get the message. Black people must realize that the time is short and growing shorter by the day. Check it out. People talk about power. There is white power, black power, yellow power, green power, etc. But all black people want out of all these different forms of power is black power. Black people want and need the power to stop the white racist power structure from grinding the life out of the black race through the daily operation of this system, which is designed to exploit and oppress black people. The beautiful thing about the brothers who held the rally is that they are organized, disciplined and politically aware of all the ins and outs of the problems facing black people throughout the Bay Area in particular. When the cops came rolling up looking, the brothers spread it out all across the street waiting for some fool cop to try and start something. The brothers were organized. So brothers and sisters everywhere, righteous black power, organized is where it's at. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense really has something going. These brothers are the cream of black manhood. They are there for the protection and defense of our black community. The black community owes it to itself, to the future of our people, to get behind these brothers and to let the world know that black people are not stupid fools who are unable to recognize when someone is acting in the best interest of black people. These brothers have a political perspective. Most important, they are down here on the grassroots level where the majority of our people are. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense moves. The party takes action. Everybody else just sits back and talk. All black people know what needs to be done, but not all of them are willing to do it. The white man has instilled fear into the very hearts of our people. We must act to remove this fear. The only way to remove this fear is to stand up and look the white man in his blue eyes. Many black people are able nowadays to look the white man in the eyes, but the line thins out when it comes to the line thins out when it comes to looking the white cops in the eye, but the white cop is the instrument sent into our community by the power structure to keep black people quiet and under control. So it's not surprising that the action that these days centers around the conduct of these white cops who come from way across town to patrol our communities for 8 hours a day. But black people have to live in these communities 24 hours a day. So it's time that black people started move in a direction that will free our communities from this form of outright brutal oppression. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense has worked out a program that is carefully designed to cope with this situation. Black men, it is your duty to your women and children, to your mothers and sisters, to investigate the program of the party. There is no other way. We have tried everything else. This is the moment in history when black people have no choice but to move, and move rapidly to gain their freedom, justice, and all the other ingredients of civilized living that have been denied to us. This is where it is at. Check it out, black brothers and sisters. This is our day. End of quote. So, interesting about this is that Huey Newton wanted to feed into the burgeoning atmosphere of militancy and revolutionary fervor across the world, including in black communities in the USA as well. There was already uprisings throughout the early 60s in black working class urban residential areas. So, and there was many initiatives, as has been mentioned in the previous episode. There was 4 or 5 different formations of different Panther organizations before Huey Newton sets up the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense in October 1966. But Huey wants to basically put out the party as a vanguard force, in his own words. He calls it a vanguard force in emphasizing the right for armed self-defense, and then through this mass recruitment wants to develop a mass work. Now it's interesting he emphasizes the constitutional and legal right to bear arms and assembly, etc. Because Mumia Abu-Jamal, in his excellent book that everyone should read called We Want Freedom, also explains that Huey Newton was very much inspired by Malcolm X, but also he was quite into a advocacy around the legal kind of constitutional rights of black people as well. That's just an interesting nuance to it. So in further episodes, we'll explore what the 10-point program actually is, because it's mentioned several times in this publication, the first publication of the Black Panther Party, and we'll go into some other issues. Many thanks. Please forgive us. There's actually one more important aspect to this we'd like to just comment on briefly. These kind of the rhetoric of black manhood protecting your sisters and mothers in the community, and of course, Huey Newton also talks about in the quoted article, he talks about brothers and sisters as well. But there is this notion of kind of this problematic kind of masculinity. But is it problematic? Which is interesting, because it can be problematic depending on which trajectory and strategy you want to take these things towards. Now, very shortly after this, there's many very strong, powerful black revolutionary women who are leading the Black Panther Party. By 1967, Kathleen Cleaver, at the age of 22, becomes the communications secretary and part of the leading body of the party. And there's many other amazing women like Erica Huggins, Elaine Brown, and many others, Charlotte O'Neill, who we're in touch with, and others. So really, and Huey Newton has a sensitive, revolutionary approach to issues of patriarchy and gay politics, etc. So he's sensitive to these things, and it's interesting hearing the account of Elaine Brown in this regard, who was a leader of the Black Panther Party by 1973, 1974, if one's not mistaken, because she responds to this accusation of the Black Panther Party that it was like some kind of pit of toxic masculinity, of black males just conducting misogynistic behavior left, right, and center. And of course, like any organization, it's a reflection of the problems in wider society. And really, I mean, the Panthers had up to 10,000 members at one point, so absolutely the membership will also reflect partially in their behavior that which exists in society in general, including sexist behaviors, etc. However, Elaine Brown makes an important corrective, and she says, listen, actually none of the women that I knew and myself were treated with anything but absolute respect as women in the party and as women in the leadership as well. So she provides and contributes a very sharp corrective to the notion that somehow it was just all problematic, toxic masculinity. Just a comment we wanted to put in there. Many thanks.
We want full-fledged membership in the Black Panther Party, and none of that okay sugar, as long as you play the background, getting my beer and rubbing my feet bullshit either. You dig?
Those sisters standing there looking tough, we're gonna be at a party. You know, who the hell did that? Just downright silly. Nobody did that. And to make the point that women were equal, I mean, it just wasn't something that even came up. There were women in the Black Panther Party from day one. Erica Huggins was one of the first members in LA. And when I joined, she was my captain. So we had women in leadership almost from the beginning that I can recall. I don't know where that's coming from. And it's kind of insulting to both the men in the party and to the party's fundamental belief system and ideology.